Hi, this is Larry Schultz and welcome to my free tutorial on how to model and crush a soda can or a Coke can. So what I'm going to do is start here with the box tool and N for numeric, and I want to create a box that's 1 meter by 0 height and 1 meter depth. So we got a nice little square there and it looks good, so I'm going to hit F2 to center it and tab key to turn on sub D's, and then shift D to subdivide, and I'm going to use metaform, which subdivides it based on the sub D object. So nice and circular. Do it again and one more time. Okay, so I'm going to hit F and flip it so it's facing down, and let's do this. I'm going to select all that. I'm going to hit Shift E for extrude, or hold the control key to constrain it, and let's just bring it up here. And you can hit the right arrow key if you want to increase, or and left arrow key to decrease the amount of sides in it. And I'm going to keep the squares nice and even, so I'm going to leave it right where it's at. So adjust it to what you think is good. And to do the top of the Coke can, I'm going to select those polys, right, and Shift A to fit the selected. Zoom in, and I'm going to use a tool here called under multiply, extend more, multi-shift, and I'm going to just create that sort of tapered top that we get. And let's do this. So it's similar to beveling. Like so. Bring it a bit more. And then I'm going to bevel it again and sort of bring it in, inset it. That gives me the lip. And then do it again and bring it down. And that gives me the top of the can. And then I want to go down to the bottom and do sort of a similar thing. Now that bottom, we use the multi-shift, sort of the same thing. I'm going to taper that in like this, and then extend it in, straight in, and then bring it up like this, and do that a couple of times, like so. And I'm going to undo that because it's doing something weird. Okay, I've got that. H for stretch. Let me just kind of bring it in. If it does anything weird, just E for extend, H for stretch, and then bring it up this way. E for extend, just bring it in like so. And then I'm going to use the modify magnet tool because these things are kind of curved in, so I'm going to go here and sort of pull it up a bit, undo it, N for numeric because I want to change the shape. I want it a little bit more rounded like this. That's better. A little more dome shape to it. And let's deselect and let's check it. So that's more or less what I wanted there. And let's go back to the top of this. And let's change this from wireframe to textured wire. And let's get in a little bit closer to this. And then what we typically have on a soda can is this sort of a taper across here. And what we'll do is go to Modify Taper. And let's hold the Control key to constrain it. And that's the opposite direction. Let's hit N for numeric and change the sense to that way. There we go. So we taper it towards us a little bit, but wider. Control T for drag. And let's kind of round these out. Like so. And I'm going to hit E for extend, H for stretch. Let me undo that again. E for extend, H for stretch. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Let's see why it's doing that. 2, 4, 6, 8. Have the right number selected. Let me drag this again. Let me try the multi-shift. Excuse me. And there we go. Bring it in slightly. And then bring it down. And then do it one more time slightly just to flatten that a bit more. Now I want to see if it's a little too weird here. See that? I'm going to undo. Like so. Control T for drag. Let's see why we're weird here. Let's pull these like this. Okay, so multiply, and let's try that again. Multi-shift. So we did it once, bring it down slightly to give us a tighter edge. And one more, bring it down, and then one more slight one. Let's see how that looks. Okay, a little too deep. I just want to get this just very slight indentation. Or like this, I think. Okay. And then this is where we would have a hole here. I'm going to try and round this part out a little bit. E for extend, H for stretch. And then E for extend, T for move, and just slightly bring it down. Like so. And then what I'll do here is I'm going to take these 4 polys, and I know there's 4 because it says it right there. Copy it. Let's go to the next layer and paste it. And then I'm going to, let's see, select these and E for extend, T for move. like so, and I'm going to take these points, teeth remove. Just kind of bring them back a bit. Just bring these forward like so. And I want to actually delete those. I just want to use these. Stretch this like so. Check the points are there, okay. Let's see there, okay. Okay. And let's hit B for bevel. And get those and delete them. Undo that. And let's do a little further in. And then bevel them down again. And a little bit more. And then delete them. So that gives us our little pull tab top. I'm going to cut it and go here and paste it. And let me get this and hide it and unhide it. Teeth remove. And let's just bring it down where we can see it here. I'm going to zoom into this slightly. Delete that. Undo that. Delete that. And select all that. And H for stretch. And then E for extend. Just flatten it there with that. T for move. Okay, so we've got this. Let's move it down. And actually, I'm going to select that again. H for stretch. And kind of there. Something like this. So we've got sort of the basic can going. We don't need to get too super detailed. But once we've got this, I'm going to save this object as and let's go here, object, see what is can. Okay, so we've got the basic can, and now we need to actually do the crushing of it, which is also pretty simple. What I want to do though is change the render mode for the perspective window to weight shade, and I'm going to go here I'm going to select just those points along there, and let's see, just make sure I don't got anything extra that I don't need. Okay. Okay. It looks like I've got some points in the middle here. So I want to deselect this, hit W for statistics, excuse me. Anything connected to 0 polygons, select and delete. And then let's try this again. Let's go back here, select all these up to here. Okay, that's better. And now we're going to go to the plugin that kind of makes this all happen. And I also want to deselect these points at the very top here. So I just have this section down through the middle. And then I'm going to go to map, and let's see, weight, color, and let's look under here. And we're going to use this one called textured point. But before we do, I need to make a weight map. Call it new, and we're going to call it crush, and we're going to make it 0% weight. So exactly 0, create new weight map created called crush. Good. Let's go here to textured point. And let's I'll just pick Z for the axis for this. And that's an interesting part here. The type is weight map, and we're going to choose crush and apply a texture, and we're going to do a procedural texture. And you can see it turn red from this procedural. We're going to do turbulence, and we're going to give it 100% contrast, which means it's full on where it's white and 0 where it's black. Okay, so you can see it there, and we can change the size. Let's go 0.3, 0.33. So it's a bit mottled, and the scale, let's shrink it in the Y. Excuse me, not too much. So let's get it down like where it's squeezed down, and we may increase it a little bit this way in the X and the Z, a little bit more here. Okay, and we can also increase the frequencies and the small power, which is sort of just noise. Okay, and let's kind of observe this. See, so we've got it kind of stretching in this direction. We can probably make it a tad bit smaller. Let's go 3 millimeters. Okay, I like that. So where I've got it red, and you can see with the green area where there's 0. Well, I want it kind of, I don't want 0 there. I want something else. So I'm going to copy that layer, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to add the layer, and I'm going to invert it. Okay. First on this one, the original one, let's bring this up to 1, or just about 1. Right there's good, it's fine. And our second one, I'm going to invert it and give it a -1. See this? So now the green area that was in between the red is now blue. So it's either blue or it's red. And so blue means it has a negative weight, and red means it has a positive weight. Okay, so now that I've got this, I'm going to hit S and save it. Okay, close this, and I'm going to hit H for stretch. Now if I were to stretch it like right now, see the can just stretches. And I'm going to hit N for numeric. And I'm going to change the fall off down here to weight. Now normally what this would do is the greater the weight in the red, the more the stretch is going to affect it. But because I have a blue area too, it's going to do the opposite of what I'm doing. So watch. See? So some parts are going in and some parts are going out. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a click on M down here and create a morph map called crush, and create it. So now I'm going to do it. So whatever I do now is going to be a morph, like so. And let's go back to smooth shade. Alright, and then I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to select all of these points or polys here, and let's kind of zoom out a little bit. I'm going to hold the shift key and select the next layer down of points, or polys, excuse me. Got that. And then H for stretch. And I'm going to bring it down to here. Hold the control key. Now, it's not going to work right because I still hit the N and change it from weight map back to none. So remember to do that. Hold the control key, constrain it, and bring this all down like so. Okay, then I'm going to deselect all this, select this, because I didn't want to deform this. Okay, G for move. Okay, so we're still in the morph mode. So that way I didn't deform the top. I didn't feel like deforming that. And I'm going to do this. Modify taper. Okay, so it's tapering the bottom and the top. Don't want to do that, so I'm going to go down to even with the bottom and constrain it and taper it. So I've got that crushed can, uneven look there. So that's the morph, and I'm going to go back on my morph down here to the base shape like this. And again, I'm going to hit S to save this. And let's send it to layout. Okay, send object to layout. And let's hit number 4 to go to perspective view, which we're in. And let's zoom in a bit. So I want to be able to see this when I mess with it. Okay, so I've got this selected. Let me hit the object selected. I'm going to hit P for properties. And let's go to Deform tab. And let's go down to Morph Mixer. And it says that I have something in layer 2. You know what? Let's go back to Modeler. And let me delete that. And save it again. I was selected the wrong object. It's okay, switch to layout. And see, layer 1, Morph Mixer. And there's the crush morph. Now watch. I can go to say frame 60, and let's crush it like so. And we can also make sure that under Geometry tab that we set the subdivision order to after morph. And that's it. We can crush that can, and there we go. Real simple way to do that. And it does so pretty neat. But you can go in there and sculpt this some more in Modeler to, you know, make it a little bit more uneven or something. But using the weight map technique makes it real easy, much easier to do the crushing effect. Okay, thank you very much.